So, ladies and gentlemen, the WarnerMedia and Discovery merger has basically gone through now. It's essentially done and dusted. But before it was done and dusted, a whole bunch of people have left. It's essentially been a bloodbath, which is actually how Deadline describe it, which I agree with. This always happens, but it's always interesting to see who leaves. It's not who you'd think. So Ann Sarnoff has departed WarnerMedia Studios. And she's not Network's chief either. Now she's gone. You've also got Jason Killar and Andy Forsell. He's gone as well. Now, obviously, a lot of people were probably expecting other individuals to disappear, but that's not happened. So let's take a look and see what this means for the future of WarnerMedia, because a lot of people are pinning their hopes on the Snyderverse being restored as a result of this. I'm still unconvinced of that, especially with the revelations of Ezra Miller threatening to kill people. So Ann Sarnoff, who has held a top film and TV studio role at WarnerMedia for nearly 3 years, pretty big at the company, is departing the company as it gets set to merge with Discovery. Now, news of her exit spread quickly Tuesday and then was confirmed in a press release. It will take effect upon the close of the $43 billion merger, which is something of a moving target, but getting closer to becoming reality. I mean, again, when people jump ship like this, it's very close now. It's very close, hence why I'm saying it's essentially done and dusted. Now, regulators will determine the exact timeline of when the transaction can be officially consummated, but indications are that it will happen Friday. So, essentially done. Now, Sarnoff joined the company in mid-2019 and was promoted to chair and CEO of WarnerMedia Studios and Networks Group the following year. She was the first woman to serve as chairman of a film and TV at a studio. So a big loss for all of that nonsense, I'm guessing. Since Discovery and at&t first proposed the spun-off combination with WarnerMedia in May 2021, there had been questions about Sarnoff's role in the executive structure, given the number of executives in the mix across both companies. There was a lot. So with Discovery CEO David Zaslav taking charge of the combined entity and the pure play nature of the new company, there are going to be expected to be fewer layers in the new executive structure, which does actually bode really well. One, get rid of so many executives making so many decisions which conflict with one another. Get rid of so many people in massively high paid roles that essentially do the same job as everyone else. Streamline it. Just streamline it. And I think that's actually I think that bodes well for Warner Brothers moving forward, or WarnerMedia. So Discovery is also pledged to extract $3 billion in cost savings from the new venture in order to reduce its debt load. Good. Now, prior to arrival, WarnerMedia Sarnoff had been executive at Viacom, Dow Jones, the WNBA, BBC Studios Americas. Sarnoff's name is, of course, familiar because of her husband's great uncle David Sarnoff. Now, this was the press release anyway. I want to thank Ann for all of her leadership during a transformational period for the company and our industry. She has been a passionate and committed steward of the world's most formidable creative engine, it's overselling it, and has led with integrity, focus, hard work, bringing WarnerMedia's businesses, brands, and workforce closer together. There's a lot of exciting momentum at the company, and I appreciate all her counsel and partnership the last few months, putting us in a position to succeed as we launch Warner Brothers Discovery. We all wish her great success in the future. There was also a statement with Killar. So Killar called Sarnoff a world-class executive and the definition of a selfless leader. It has been remarkable to watch Ann bring together formerly disparate creative teams, invest in those teams, resulting in creative excellence and business results unlike this company has seen before, and is a first-tier human being, and I'm honoured to work with someone of her calibre. I mean, Jesus, that is wow. And then Sarnoff shared her own memo. It's just congratulatory. Oh, I'm doing this. You guys are amazing. Blah blah blah. It's really really long, so we're not going to get into that because there's not really any point. As you can see, that is long. That is very very long. But like I said, so you've also got Killar leaving as well, right? So Killar left. Jason Killar, first over the wall, basically, with day and date streaming. History is already looking at it quite favourably. Now this is obviously, well, yeah, basically WarnerMedia CEO Jason Killar, who's stepping down this week before the company's merger with Discovery closes, takes pride in being the first over the wall with day and date streaming movie strategy. Shouldn't be. That was a terrible decision, and it cost you guys lots and lots of money. But then the other guy to leave is HBO Max head at&t Forsell. Now this is interesting because you'd think if HBO Max was such a ginormous success as it was, he wouldn't be leaving. It's in a bloodbath Tuesday at WarnerMedia ahead of the closing of the Discovery merger on Friday, essentially. Add HBO Max head at&t Forsell to the list of exiting executives. Deadline has confirmed that he joins WarnerMedia Studios and Networks Group Chairman and Sarnoff and Jason Killar, who will also depart. Now, the reason why this chap could be leaving is essentially because Discovery already has a head. Now, you would think, just because they're two quite different entities and quite different businesses, although they do the same things, but it's a lot to manage, you'd think that they would still keep, you know, a head of HBO Max. So I'm surprised that they haven't. Now, I don't think that's why he's leaving, in fairness, because I think maybe someone will take his place. Now, it's been buzzed that Discovery CEO David Zaslav does not like layers. Well, 3 layers just got depleted. Indications are that $43 billion merger is likely to officially close Friday. JB Perrett, President and CEO of Discovery Streaming and International, had been widely speculated to be taking over the newly merged company's combined direct-to-consumer streaming operation, even before Forsell's exit became official. I'm surprised they're doing this, doing a combined one. I am surprised, I'm not going to lie. But it also goes to show how expendable these people are, because they weren't really doing anything that was massively profitable. You know, like, they mouth off that HBO Max was hugely profitable, but I mean, look, if you're going to get rid of the head of it, even though you are doing a merger, and I say profitable, but they were boasting numbers and stuff, even though there's a huge debt for AT&T, you'd think that they would have kept him if he'd initiated such incredible things, so obviously not. HBO Max and HBO Programming Chief Casey Bloys is expected to continue in a key role, so it sounds like actually the programming officer was better. Likely similar to his current position. In Zaslav's post-merger plans, we're hearing that Warner Brothers Motion Picture Group Studio Chairman Toby Emmerich, Channing Dungey, Chairman of Warner Brothers Television, and Warner Brothers COO Carolyn Blackwood are safe for the time being. I'm surprised by Toby Emmerich, in fairness, but alright. Interestingly enough, Forsell, Killar and Sarnoff were part of a sit-down with media reporters back in October, and this was perceived by some to be an exit tour for the trio. Even though Killar was mum at the time about his rumoured departure, all three banged the drum about the rah-rah of HBO Max, how they're returning to theatrical in 2022, and that sequels were happening for Dune, which saw its grosses siphoned by HBO Max. Essentially, they done fudged up massively. So Forsell mentioned a deadline during the sit-down with him that there were no imminent plans for HBO Max to report ratings on its programming. Yeah, well, no shit. Saying that the various streamers, as they come to greater strength, will determine their means of benchmarking. To date, most of the viewership results for such big shows as Succession, Euphoria, reported by the network, have been combined figure for both the linear and streaming services. Now, Deadline interestingly says the biggest upset here is Sarnoff. Optically, some speculated it wouldn't look good for the new merger to see a high-level female executive exit, that some sort of new position would be offered under the new regime. Good that they're not, though, and not bowing to essentially perceived public pressure. Sarnoff's exit email didn't provide a solid answer as to why she was leaving. Again, it's that long thing. I was not going to read this, no point. Again, because there's no reason. The executive writing with a sundry of accomplishments. It's never easy stepping into a leadership role, whether it's a 96-year-old studio or a newly formed business group. But in both cases, I was confident in our ability to succeed because I was surrounded by some of the smartest, most creative, and most innovative teams I've ever worked with. It's basically, pat yourselves on the back, you've done great, I'm leaving, see you later. Now, Deadline note from their sources that it didn't make sense for Sarnoff to stay on in a reduced role given Discovery's penchant for delayering. Sarnoff arrived at Warner Brothers as CEO and eventually was tapped to oversee all content at the studios and networks. It just didn't make sense for Sarnoff to stay. So yeah, now the trio of executives exits come in the wake of Warner Brothers Project Popcorn being a big embarrassment for the studio. Again, this is the day and date release. It is huge embarrassment. They've lost so much money because of this. Both in regards to talent relations and hefty payouts to talent for manoeuvring not a gradual theatrical day-and-date plan in 2021, but one that impacted the entire annual slate, starting with Wonder Woman 84. Killar has trumpeted the 73 million plus global HBO Max subscriber number. Apparently the new administration coming in doesn't care. And this is because this just isn't making money. People are like, this future's streaming. Yeah? Why are they getting rid of everyone then? I doubt it. I doubt it. Now, meanwhile, in WarnerMedia's return to a theatrical window with Batman, that movie has now soared to north of 700 million worldwide and expected to hit HBO Max on a 45-day window on April 19th. So it'll be interesting, you know, like this is the thing. The day-and-date release was not profitable. People kept banging on about it, saying, yeah, this is what the future is, blah, blah, blah. It's not. I said back then it's not. It can't be, because you can't make the money, you know, to keep investing in these quite, well, massive budget movies. If that's your strategy, you'll never make the money back. So there you go, ladies and gents. What does this mean for the future? Well, you know, Ann Sarnoff going, I guess you could say she is the gatekeeper for the Snyderverse in that respect. And could her exit mean they could continue it? Yeah, like absolutely. She was head of well, everything basically with respect to all of that. So yeah, I mean, she could, you know, you could bring the Snyderverse back, but I cannot see Discovery doing it. I mean, look how brutal they've been, just removing all of these individuals, going, there's no point, we've got other people that can do your job, see you later. Right, that's quite big. Quite big. Do you really think that they want Ezra Miller on board? I mean, they might even look to get the likes of Depp back, because Depp's essentially, his exit from Fantastic Beasts has now been felt in all the reviews, and the fact that it's, you know, not getting very good reviews. People are literally saying, yeah, you should have got Depp back. Discovery seem more business savvy, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But we'll see. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. Take care.